Hey there, junkies. So today we're talking about lower crossed syndrome, a very common postural distortion, which I have. Its main characteristic, boop, Kim Kardashian butt. The tailbone sticks out, the lower back overarches, the hip flexors become tight, the calves can even become tight. The belly hangs out, deep intrinsic core stabilizers are not working, and also the lats in the back of the body, the lats dorsi, also can become tight. So we're going to look at what it looks like when we move and then how you can address it. Okay, so you saw in the lunge, I stepped back and I went to go far, which is fine, but when I did that, my belly collapsed out and my tailbone just went straight up toward the shoulder blades. So I wasn't able to actually engage the buttock at all. My hamstrings were picking up the slack and it just really didn't feel good on my back muscles. So what I did was I bended the back knee. You can also shorten your stance a little bit. And I made sure I squeezed the left buttock and I lifted the pelvic floor and the lower belly in so that my ears, shoulders, and hips were stacking and the hips were not back and the chest forward. In Anjaneyasana, my knee was behind my hip, which is right, but then I was externally rotating the leg, so we're totally bypassing stretching out the hip flexors when we do that. And then on top of that, my tailbone was pulling back, and that meant my ribs were jutting forward, so I'm just further contracting the lats, which are already tight with lower cross syndrome. So what I did was, I thought about internally rotating the back leg. Then again, I squeezed the back leg buttocks and I imagined I was picking my pubic bone up toward my navel. So now I feel it much more in my hip flexors. And from there, it doesn't matter how far my chest arches back. I'm literally just picking the sternum up toward my thumbs and I'm getting a much deeper stretch on that left hip flexor. So there you have it. Lower cross syndrome explained. I can't tell you how much I've struggled with this in my own life. I've been practicing yoga asana for 13 years now, and I was never able to do things like a handstand, and my headstand felt very weak and precarious, and even chaturanga sometimes did not feel great. And I thought it was because, well, maybe I'm not practicing hard enough, but really it was because I had that tailbone tilt. So my glutes were underdeveloped, my core was underdeveloped, and my hip flexors were just so tight. And then when I would do the things that target those areas, like back bends, I was just engaging the wrong muscles, the synergist muscles, instead of the prime mover muscles. So please make sure, if you think you have lower cross syndrome and all of those things are checking out that we just went over, foam roll your quads, yeah? Foam roll your lats, and then do some of those static stretches as well as core engagement activities like a plank pose, but make sure you're also squeezing the buttocks when you do those core stabilization techniques.